It's time to watch the last great Guild Wars 2 video that was made by Rose. And to be honest, I think it's the last greatest video of Guild Wars 2 in general. Rose was a phenomenal content creator that we all knew and love, and apparently he knew us as well. So yeah, it's time to honor him by finally unleashing his final video from the vault I've been keeping so deep because I've been saving it for some dry times, and now is definitely some dry time. Because, well, you know, Guild Wars 2 content tends to be a little bit on the stale side, if you know what I mean. So, with that in mind, we're going to watch the greatest video on earth. Rose would have to make me laugh. I'm not even joking. So hard. Or I'm going to literally live inside of his walls. Now, that being said, I came prepared and made myself bald for the occasion, so I really hope that we'd get to enjoy this.
I'll be your doggy if you stay with me tonight.
One take, by the way, absolutely.
What do you say?
Today's subject, unconventional warfare.
I love Martin
No
video
longer
so
live in
much,
an
but
age
he's
where
in
a
prison
man has
now.
to look into the eyes of his enemy to run his target's uninstallation.
He's literally in
program.
prison.
Long gone are the days of honor, dignity, and the time-honored tradition of tax evasion through lead implantation. Anyone stuck in the past is a fool. Anyone stuck in the present is a coward. But most importantly, this video is not going to make much sense because the voices in my head continue to be too loud, and it turns out I have no idea how to finish this Guild Wars 2 series. So if you stick around to hear the schizophrenic ramblings of a man that's been unhinged by the Guild Wars 2 story, then that's a you problem. This is the end of my core playthrough of Guild Wars 2. It definitely had its ups and its downies. So come with me one last time
What
as
the
the Guild
fu-
Wars
what?
2 devs wage an entirely new form of psychological warfare on my fragile mental state that now makes me understand how they managed to gaslight their player base into enjoying jumping puzzles while also getting 45-year-old men with a few hours to spare each night to enjoy playing online Barbie instead of finishing the main story questline. This is the one where I hit level 80 and actually get to play the game from here on out. It's all been leading up to this moment. Every painstakingly bland cutscene, every well-endowed Norn woman we've come across, every moment of enjoyable gameplay and underwhelming story has led us here. And like a goddamn soldier being chased down by a $5 drone with a grenade strapped to it, I've held my composure under pressure. I have ascended! No longer will I sit here being abused like the cucumber your mother keeps in the fridge and tells you never to touch. No longer will I be the shredded lettuce that gets taken out by some bullshit mob with a barely pronounceable name. I am a goddamn machine of steel and leaves, and it's time to fight a motherfucking dragon.
ArenaNet has done the worst mistake of their lives banning this guy. I'm just going to outright say it. They have done the worst mistake in the entire world. That was literally the dumbest thing they could have ever done. Nice zoom out. Oh, so he's going to cover the entire Zaitan fight. Well, we all know what he thinks about it. Well, everyone thinks the same of Zaitan, so it's not too surprising. I just want to see how he's going to deliver it. That definitely has to be good. There's no way to screw this up
But
final
before
battle.
we get into it, I think it's time I told you about today's sponsor, Geneva,
What?
and their non-existent conventions.
Because in my darkest moment, in the
Oh,
depths
fuck,
of
that
only
dude.
still being level 51,
Okay, sure.
while the depression of knowing that I will never be a PvP master of Guild Wars 2 because I neither have the attention span nor the time had not yet fully set in, came the bright, beautiful, burning dawn.
You know, it's the weirdest thing. I've been playing this game for hours now, and I keep forgetting that I have more than 5 abilities. I've just been selecting random stuff. I mean, what the hell does this button even do?
Dude, engineers look sick. I bet he enjoyed that one. Ah, fuck. Man, I hope I won't get banned by proxy. It's... No!
I was simply following orders. Okay, sure. Maybe.
Dog, that's crazy how the stars are starting to align in my head now. I should have watched this video a long time ago. People, when... listen, you don't need an oracle to foresee his ban. I understand now. Like, oh, man, I mean, listen, it's a joke, obviously, but for the love of actual God, I love this humor so much. It's just humor. We're missing this. I compare this to the dry milk toast we have on a daily basis from every Guild Wars 2 content creator, and I shudder. I just cry. And it's so insane because we have this exact humor for World of Warcraft and no one cares. I react to it all the time. Like, literally no one cares. And Blizzard are literally a bunch of I was about to say self-made, Jesus, hell no. Like, Nepo babies narcissists, okay? And they don't care. I mean, they do, but they still don't, like, outright ban you for it. It's so crazy.
I should have aimed at the big zombie dragon in the sky, but who's to say that those children at the Azuran orphanage aren't in on his plan somehow? Can you really look at one of these hideous, malformed, disgusting faces and think that I, their obvious savior from life, am not doing them a favor by toasting them like a fucking strudel in an oven? This is ridiculous. You try to do the world a favor, and you get sent off to bum nowhere by the Vigil in order to recruit a bunch of tribal frogs to the cause for some reason. Granted, by white people standards, their ability to jump is impressive, but I just don't think that means they really stand a chance against something that can, fly. At least it's not all bad. At least our buddy Forza Racing stuck by our side this entire time. It's a good thing nothing bad's ever gonna happen to him, and that not even the Guild Wars 2 devs are dumb enough to take that away from us.
Well, it is
Stupid
what it is.
French assholes. I bet I could jump that high if I tried. My legs.
What's important to acknowledge at this stage is that is no longer the mystery meat that no one knows the origin of anymore. He's a well-defined and well-understood threat to the rest of Tyria. And if we would like even the slightest chance of beating him, we're going to need bodies to feed into that undead meat grinder. While I, the obvious main character, do something important while everyone else dies a miserable but forgettable death off-screen somewhere else. So the only true solution I see to getting pegged down by the undead is to strap on my Elon Musk approved not a flamethrower and run at my problems like he runs away from the woman he keeps getting pregnant. And before you know it, I'm destroying the entire religion of a bunch of sun-worshipping super soldiers. But at least by winning their version of the UFC, I now get to take them on their white boy summer arc. And that means we have an army. Now we just need to teach them to wield more than sticks and rocks, and how to fight back against the Australians.
Now, as much as I would like to Terry Davis my way down this mainline questing thought process, I, as a now fully formed vegetable, have had an idea. This MSQ level locking garbage where I have to wait until I hit some multiple of 10 in order to experience any degree of story questline whatsoever it's just beyond retarded, and it's really starting to chafe on my under-moisturized gamer nipples. Now, obviously, I'm not going to harp on this too much because I've already done so in every other video I've made, but it is a recurring annoyance, and the more I think about it, it's not alone in being that. So far, Gated World 2 has been this amazing showcase of exceptional ideas. But the problem is some of these executions feel like they came straight out of North Korea. Look, I'm not saying they're all bad. I'm just wondering why you would leave some of these on show if they were just gonna starve to death anyway. I know, variety, everything game. Aya-flavored Gamer Girl sweat bottle sold at a reasonable price in the ArenaNet main headquarters lobby. But guess what? Why bother implementing a good idea and then not making it good like they've proven they can do in other cases?
Because they're too lazy to go back and fix it. It's so simple. Of course that's the case. I mean, why wouldn't they? Obviously, they should go back and fix the entire Zaiten fight and literally rework the entire core experience from scratch. And I'm literally removing more stuff than adding. Because most of the story, and I'd argue as 50% of it, is just bloat. You don't really need it. Like, there are plenty of quests that you can literally go AFK in and still win after 20 minutes. So what is the point? They just need to cut the bloat and the game would instantly become better.
Sometimes I just don't know what to make of the Guild Wars 2 base game systems because they're less consistent than having an alcoholic father in an Irish neighborhood. Case in point.
I didn't touch
Dungeon lore and
crafting
its
yet.
tie into the rest of the world.
Amazing.
The fact that those same dungeons get touched less than a fat kid in a Catholic school.
Not very good.
Waypoints and exploration.
Wunderbar.
Memorability and significance of any of the main characters that you interact with.
No.
Enlighten me. Who the f*** are ya?
Your character's visual progression as you gain gear and level up, not bad. But the gear itself and any of the stat choices that are tied to them.
It's like kissing your sister. Sure, everyone else in the village is already doing it, but when it's your turn,
one of
something
these
just doesn't quite feel right.
And I'm saying none of this for any of the players who've already decided that they don't care how closely related Guild Wars 2 is to their original parent MMO. I'm saying this for the 3 new players who haven't yet decided
Actually,
whether
no,
this is
this
the
game.
MMO for them or not. Those players who have yet to feel the cold, uncaring fingers of Uncle NCSoft running their way up the inside of their leg. Sometimes it's just impossible to tell whether the next thing you're going to experience while leveling is going to be joyful or janky. And what makes this hurt is not that the abandoned ideas still stuck in Guild Wars 2 are bad, it's just that they could be so much better than what they currently are. Luckily for me though, a little bit of digital CBT isn't gonna do anything to me because I played World of Warcraft non-stop for 15 years of my life, which means there's nothing this game can do to me that I haven't done to myself already at.
What? Oh, dude, wait, ArenaNet is disrupting us? That literally never happened to me in my entire life. That's so weird. Guys, they're sending a message.
If they're gonna be so blatant about kicking me in the nuts every now and then, I would prefer a continuum of force, please, instead of living under the hopeful illusion that it might just not happen again.
But back to my current MSQ problem, I do think I have a solution. Instead of focusing on bridging these content chasms with meaningless hard quests and pretty decent dynamic world grinding, how's about instead I grind my way up in levels now and then experience the entire story later?
So that's exactly what I did, and
True.
while doing so, a strange feeling
So
of
did I.
nostalgia began to creep over me.
You know, the more I think about it, the more this really feels like a throwback to my early WoW days. No direct goal or greater purpose in mind, just make arbitrary number bigger than it was previously. Now, this ancient and simple formula might not seem like much to any of the newer generation of cum sprites who all have the attention span of a squirrel on meth and have yet to experience the joy of the release.
I'm so surprised he's not losing brain cells actually searching these videos. It's crazy. I've seen some of them. Man, the degeneracy out there is more than you think.
Of a video game in their lifetime that's just not infested by microtransactions. But this right here is your average balding 30-something-year-old MMO gamer's Xanax, his Zen garden, his tiny fraction of a registration of peace and quiet and escapism in his life, neatly slotted between 2 goon sessions. Their moment of wondering why there's a giant green dick roaming around this area.
It looks like Green Wiener 2 has been hiding another trick up its skirt. World Bosses. Another fantastic addition to break up the monotony of the game, distracting me away from doing whatever I was doing 2 minutes ago. But I would be lying to you if I said that there wasn't something here that just didn't feel quite right. I mean, sure, I haven't had enough practice with the grapefruit technique yet to take this world boss on alone. And this fight does look like something that would require an entire team of Korean MMO game enjoyers to suck and swallow their way through to completion. But that's not it. It might be because I'm not playing Giant Wars 2. I'm playing fucking Spawn.
That enemy, unfortunately, is just not anything special. It's just the supersize me version of a regular mob that also hasn't left the cell stage of the game yet. Part of the reason that this game ends up in this dementia patient riddled space, where some things feel repetitive as all hell and others feel novel and interesting, is because of the design decisions that are being made here. I've said this before, but in 2012 they did this amazing job with all the variety of the biomes, the landscapes, and the world building, and then they just fell flat on their face, reskinning and rescaling the exact same mob over and over again. And I can already hear some of the Guildworms 2 veterans screeching at me from their chairs right now. Let me cook. A common complaint you might hear from some of the people running through the base game of Guild Wars 2 is that most of the mobs are just a flat-out repetition that have just been shifted from one biome to another and used ad nauseum. And that this was done because the devs just had a limited set of character assets and mobs to work with. But that's not strictly true. You can't look at something like this, that's been used so sparingly, and say it's the same as this, which has been used wherever possible. What makes the specific issue about the base game so confusing is that it's not like they haven't actually designed a wide variety of mobs for them to use and sprinkle throughout the world wherever they feel like. It's just that they didn't bother using any of the really good ones most of the time in any significant way at all.
And it's not even like different biomes contain different mobs. And to make my point,
That jungle penis is green, but this snow penis is white. And as for this one, it probably needs a course of antibiotics.
you could theoretically make the argument about rarities of certain mobs and why they exist in the manner that they do, but that very willfully neglects the concept of over and underuse. There's a difference between being sparing and being repetitious, but I digress. Clunking my way through the levels at this stage was taking me longer than I expected, but again, seeing my plight, the players of Guild Wars 2 swooped in to save the day and ensure that it's not taking me several more weeks of unoptimized, non-boosty gameplay to reach my goal. My interest in the world boss had been noted, and so I'm dragged off to fight a much better looking one. This one looks like an actual threat, and is far more unique than some of the
Shadow
others
Behemoth
I
is cool.
spotted while exploring. And it's one of those bosses that's so big, it's got multiple target points for one health bar.
Finally, some tasty f***ing leveling content. This is what I'm talking about. This is what makes the base game worth it. It's moments like these that you just can't get anything better. And it's a giant loot pinata.
Turns
Yep.
out the
Power creep is still a thing in Guild Wars 2. Who would have thunk, huh? I mean, that's pretty great, but to be honest, it's still fun. I enjoy my time, like, doing Shadow Behemoth, and I enjoyed, most of all, Triple Threat. It's still genuinely a difficult fight, in my opinion. You have literal guilds that are tailored for specifically running this world boss. I think that Triple Threat is an absolute beast of a world boss, and I do really enjoy it. Now, all the other, like, they need some work. They need some touch-ups. And again, it just all goes to the same point of ArenaNet needs to revisit the core base Tyria, like, game loop. They need to change everything, and they need to make, like, a lot of renovations to some of the older content. And in my opinion, they should bring dungeons back. But I know people love fractals, and if you say, like, oh no, what are you talking about? You have fractals, like, people get hella mad. In my opinion, dungeons were way better than fractals. I'm much like an old gamer. I'm almost 28, guys, okay? I've seen the gold days, and I truly enjoy classic World of Warcraft and slower experience in general. So while I understand it's very practical for you to cram session a few fractals between your gooning session, and I respect it, well, actually, I don't, but, you know, for the sake of the example, like, I understand you guys. I think that the slower dungeons where you had to go through an actual experience and live the dungeon were way better than any fractal I'd ever done. And there are some seriously amazing fractals out there, but dungeons are top tier in my opinion. That's just how I think.
player base of gender whipping
And I'm goddamn right.
to beat the shit out of this mob on such a regular basis that we probably need a petition to change its name to 1950s Housewife. Once again, I've been hit by the Guild Wars 2 patented cognitive dissonance, where the big scary shadow monster isn't actually a threat, he's handing out participation trophies. While fighting the shot behemoth, I didn't even see a single person come close to death. It's quite literally a thing that exists in-game for people to use and abuse for loot at a quite regular frequency. But
Farming
hey, who am I
material.
to complain at this point? It did bump me an entire 6 levels, and now I can get back to the main story questline, all without breaking my rules of level boosting. My self-imposed exile has come to an end. The Vigil is calling upon us once more, and in the spirit of cooperation against Tyria's greatest threat, all the equal race representatives.
Yeah, fractals were made to be fast and easy pieces of content, I think. Yeah, that's dumb. They were made for that, and that's dumb. It's like, you shouldn't do that. Like, MMOs shouldn't be made for fast content. That should never be the case. MMO should be slow and gradual. Delayed gratification is a very important aspect of a good MMO. In my opinion, at least. I don't know. Maybe you guys think differently.
Of the world and Wanasura are gathered under one banner to figure out what needs to happen next.
Now, just
I
eat the
left
Azura. You don't
a
need him.
misunderstood villain. I return a redeemed hero, ready to dedicate myself to the dragon-slaying cause.
So, the Great Council decided that it's super important that I investigate the sewers. The game is making me dig through literal digital shit for my next piece of story questing lore.
Yeah, I remember the sewer quest.
How
It was so
incredibly
trash.
self-aware.
What's different now, though, is that unlike the early game quests, this is directly relevant to the larger world and story that's happening around us. What we've lost in substandard personal storytelling is hopefully being made up for in larger overarching world story. And there's no having a world story in Guild Wars 2 without roping in Lion's Arch again. Look, I know I said before that this city only exists to play Fashion Wars 2 and for a convenient trading post, but story-wise at least, this is more than just a place for hairy underdressed men to show off the skin-tight pants on their female characters. This city is
Any of y'all feel personally attacked yet?
basically the only neutral ground we've seen in the game. And it's
Guys,
also
I
a
know you ain't
fantastic
females.
place to be around other players if you have a time machine and can go back to 2013. And just like the modern player base, we don't care about Lion's Arch. We care about the little dingleberry attached to it known as Claw Island. And on Claw Island is a fortress that I definitely didn't forget the name of, which was built in the hopes of preventing enemies from getting close enough to Lion's Arch to reenact Pearl Harbor. Now, being the world's best 5D chess player, has realized something that the defenders of Lion's Arch have not. If you can't Pearl Harbor your original target, then why not Pearl Harbor the thing that's preventing you from doing that? Checkmate, theologists. There is no God, because I see no intelligent design here.
Look, all of what I'm saying here is not too important. I'm just trying to give you some context. What really matters at this stage is that the game is finally giving us something memorable to play our way through.
An awesome siege that actually feels like it has weight and impact on the world. The first undead attack launched against us is small, probing, and only enough to shut down the nude beach. Not really a big loss because I saw no female Norn lying on it. The dragon is testing us for weakness. He might not be a mystery to us at this stage, but we are definitely still a mystery to him. And the game appears to be hinting that he's trying to figure out if we even have a counter to anything he would do to us. And unfortunately, we don't. And so in a shocking twist, the undead do what's most logical and immediately throw everything they have at us, sparking a full-scale battle in the process. Everyone here is fighting for their lives. The music makes the tension palpable. Every moment that passes, the battle sways in one direction or another. We battle our way through a wide variety of undead that we've only ever seen in much smaller quantities than before this moment. And when we finally gain the upper hand by sinking the undead ship that's been the single cause for all this chaos, this happens.
More. That sequence was kind of cool. I will say the oh no monkey, but I did enjoy it. Like I did not. It was way too long in my opinion. The problem with Guild Wars 2, and I don't know if he's going to mention that, but I'm pretty sure all of us can agree on that. They make some of the fights in this story mission, like, not this specifically too, like, every other story mission I've played until now has been way too long. Like, they're making the fights insanely long for arbitrary reasons. I mean, there's a boss. There's a fun mechanic that is tied to a boss. Instead of doing it like 3 times and, you know, just kill the boss and it was a really fun experience, you have to do it like 6 or 7 times. I don't know why they do it. It's like, oh, we need to make the fight longer because it's supposed to be epic. Like, bro, longer doesn't mean epic, okay? Trust me, I know. I cried myself to sleep over that multiple nights. So, it's really not the case. Just make it shorter. Like, literally trim it, make the gimmick fun, and be done with it. And it will be memorable. That's the most important thing. I mean, it's just so annoying. They have to repeat the same loop over and over and over again.
We have severely underestimated our enemy, but through some combination of sheer, unbridled hubris under the leadership of an alcoholic cat and our own personal blend of protagonist syndrome, the defenders of Claw Island managed to hold their own. And once more, we find ourselves lulled into a false sense of security, only for this to happen.
Keep your courage up.
Yeah, is that the call? The Sunless.
You may notice that this dragon bears a striking resemblance to a large piece of broccoli we defeated in the past a long time ago. What a fantastic callback to the beginning of the game when we were told that this exact thing was going to happen. And never before this moment would I have ever considered a monkeypox dragon with a vomit breath attack anything but a writer's personal fetish. But somehow Guild Wars 2 made it work. This is pretty cool from both a foreshadowing perspective and the perspective of trying to make things feel as hopeless as possible.
And this fight was actually better than Zaitan, which is the craziest part.
After all the plot and compositional failures that we've seen from the Guild Wars 2 writing team so far, I didn't expect them to be able to pull something like this off, but they did. They pulled me off, and it felt great.
What's even more unexpected is that something interesting happens at the end of the story arc. We lose the battle. We lose Claw Island. Never before this moment has this game made me lose anything more but an erection knowing that people unironically enjoy playing Asura. The dragons...
What?
Knowing that people unironically enjoy playing Asura. The dragon...
No, he's right. He's right. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are crazy. It's insane how literally every single person that come to my stream is literally an Azura main. It's absolutely crazy. I don't know. Maybe you guys planned it before you even knew me. But screw you guys. You should change that.
In a single attack, using one
what do you mean never?
Dragon and a few boats, has proven that fighting an unstoppable wave of undead head-on is not going to work. So we need a better plan than thinking we can just charge in and beat up the elderly.
Other than that, and probably for plot reasons, all of us escape unharmed and in one piece. Well, hold on. Where's my foreskin?
Son of Kern.
That unnecessary
that
death.
Was him that ran back through the door, wasn't it?
Yeah, the most unnecessary death imaginable. Like, oh, Forgirl, the doors are closing. It's fine. We're gonna escape. Like, no, let me stay back. Why? Why would you ever do that? Such a lame writing. They couldn't even kill my boy. The one character throughout the core experience that is actually well written, they couldn't give him a proper death. What in God's name was that? They could have made him like go Broxigar-like, just inflict a massive wound on Zaitan or something and like take him down. That could have been sick. No, he just died to an army of undead Azura. What a damn shame.
Right. Fuck the story. I mean, why bother when they just keep on taking the most memorable parts of it away?
Time then to speedrun some filler. The next story arc revolves around taking back Claw Island. We didn't war crime hard enough when defending the fort, so we war crime twice as hard at Lion's Arch, when the undead arrive at the front door, and win this time. It's now up to us to figure out how to kill the zombie dragon, or if that's even possible. And so who better to ask than our mom? And in typical woman fashion, instead of helping, she asks what my greatest weakness is so she can store that information and weaponize it against us later, and sends us on a vision quest to Eastern Europe to witness the apocalyptic future of what happens when you're born as a Serbian. Our vision quest shows us both the future of what happens when you're born as a Serbian.
Come on, man. Oh my God, it's just dumbass meme. How do you know that I'm Serbian? Man, I would never not laugh at the Eastern European meme. I'm sorry, guys.
Serbian. Our
it's
vision
too
quest
good.
Shows us both
it's
the horrors
good.
of the past and the future we're trying to prevent.
What?
Serbian. Our vision quest shows us both the horrors.
It's the last road I ever saw your father walk down. His last words to me were, BRB gotta get some Newports. Oh,
of the past
classic.
And the future
surely he'll
trying
come
to
back
prevent.
soon.
And I shit you not, the game tells me that once upon a time, the Kang of Or and his people were all slaves. And the future involves lesbian plant ladies smashing their papayas together out in the open for everyone to see.
Wait. Why are we trying to prevent this future again?
Once we snap back to reality, there's only really one question on my mind. Mother, what the f did you put in those brownies? None of that information was applicable to our current problem. But I never get an answer because...
Nope, it was to mentally ready Traherne to do what he needs to do. That is it. Like, that is literally all.
Tired of waiting and attacked our home base of Vigil's Keep. And so now I need to rush over there to save everyone. Not too big of a deal. I'm the protagonist after all. So I play a little catapult piano. win back our keep, and now it's time to go back to fighting over the same patch of dirt in the ocean that we already lost once. The return siege is almost as epic as the first time we were here, and we get to kill that dragon that kept vomiting.
Oh, it was
at us
Bride
like he
Gas.
just
Yeah,
got
yeah.
done
Not the
watching
call.
a Chris Chan sex tape. This time, we win back the island and everyone celebrates. But more importantly, more than just the Vigil and those two other useless organizations,
Yes!
they've done nothing up
Oh,
until this
finally,
point.
dude. Some visual representation. Yes, thank you.
Are now aware of exactly how powerful the dragon is. I can only imagine what kind of abilities he would pull on us if we had to fight him directly.
Oh, I can't wait for this final fight. It's probably going to be so far beyond anything I can even imagine. I mean, just look at the army of undead we've already had to contend with. I'm really starting to think that this is just going to be the ultimate showcase of what Guild Wars 2 is capable of.
At this point, who really cares how discombobulated the story is? By the end of this all, we get to have the ultimate showdown with an undead, insane dragon.
Surely. The foreshadowing was
Enough
so
with the
good.
mental jack-off session. Back to prepping for the flying undead apocalypse that's coming our way.
It falls to me now to try and handicap the flying nightmare lizard, all while making my allies as handy-capable as possible. So I kill another necromancer that looks exactly the same as the last one. Oh, sure, I'm the problem because all the necromancers look the same. You know, despite being 13% of the undead, we do all of this so we can access his Gmail account and read the spicy conversations he's been having with his boss.
Do you even know what the legal definition of sexting is?
There's only really 3 important story beats that happen in this next arc. First, we play a little Harriet Tubman and the Underwater Railroad, free some slaves from the fish snake people who now have to pick their own underwater cotton, and discover that they've also been hiding a Dragon Ball that Zaitan is allergic to. Second, we meet Norn Mommy 2.0 and Water Wings Mommy 1.0. And third, we fondle those balls off the fishmen and Norn Mommy 2.0 gets captured. Now, aside from the objectively correct decisions that Geisha Wars 2 is making right now by building us a personal harem, the story has once more become a mess, but a mess in a completely new way. All these quests actually are important, but they feel like chore work at best, and doing the dishes with a toilet brush at worst. You'd think that if I,
That was
the
Asmongold
obvious
Singh.
protagonist, is off doing all these little wacky side adventures, that everyone else has to be doing something way more important right now. But no, my character, non-consensually grabbing the balls off of a bunch of knockoff Naga like I'm a public school teacher, is the best hope Teria has right now.
And look what a waste of time it is, man. You just have to chase him down until he eventually stops, and then you get to kill him. So dumb. So dumb.
Occurring here isn't a problem of quest law importance, but rather quest scaling proportions. In the beginning of the game, we went from slaying a dragon to gardening. And now we're going from this awesome siege battle to just small-time fish molestation.
But there is still something worthwhile that does happen in this moment. I finally hit level 80, and I'm beginning to feel the end approaching.
Think about this dragon fight that's coming. It's actually got me reminiscing about the past a little bit. Once, not too long ago, in an MMO not too far away, I was robbed of a battle with the Grand Dragon. One where I thought I would be
The other one,
making this amazing memory, battling the one known as Deathwing, the mightiest of dragons of his time. And I'm sure you can imagine my disappointment when you find out that the first half of the fight is popping his syphilis bubbles and the second half is just trimming his toenails. And what made it feel so bad is that the entire raid's contribution to the fight was essentially minimal from a narrative perspective, because we were just a stand-in for Green Jesus and the Dragon Squad to show up and defeat him by just shooting a high-velocity piss beam in his direction.
It was so disappointing. I can't believe Blizzard has actually done this. It was the true downfall of World of Warcraft. Like, Deathwing went straight into the Maelstrom and World of Warcraft with it. It's insane how bad that fight was. It was so anticlimactic, especially for such an insane build-up for Deathwing. It was insane. And mind you, Deathwing was present in, like, Warcraft 2, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's so crazy you took such a great character, and the trailer was so incredible too, and the entire premise was actually great, like the Cataclysm, all of that stuff. Now, I think personally World of Warcraft should have died with Wrath of the Lich King, but let's not turn it into a WoW video, right? Because that would take 2 hours. And yeah, I mean, the build-up was insane, and the fight was so garbage. It was so garbage, unfortunately.
It's a good thing that Guild Wars 2 came out almost an entire year after this raid occurred, because there's just no way that the devs didn't look at that and learn from that mistake. This fight just feels like it might be a correction to the timeline. A chance at redemption. I can just see a million different ways that this dragon...
And also look how sick Zaitan look. It's such a waste of a great design. Truly one of the best looking dragons I've ever seen. It's absolutely wild. Guild Wars 2 dragons or WoW dragons, who'd win? WoW dragons, you literally have like Galacrond. Have you heard of Galacrond? You know, he can literally like swipe your credit card with like his hand. He can just take your money away for microtransactions. It's crazy. But to be fair, now dragons in World of Warcraft are super lame. So yeah, most likely Guild Wars 2 dragons now. But back in the old days, oh, 100% World of Warcraft.
Battle could play out, but I need to stop speculating. I don't want to ruin the surprise. Let's for now just maintain a focus on all these little story beats that are preparing us for something that is obviously going to be of grand scale.
So we defend and re-establish another fort, which is far less interesting the third time round. And we try to rescue Norn Mommy 2.0, only to discover that in our absence, she's been hitting the pipe real hard.
I'm sorry, Mr. 7-foot thickness, whose name I can't remember. But the game is quite literally forcing me to kill you and hold a funeral for you later.
Yeah, and they actually... The crazy part is that ArenaNet actually thought you cared about her. Bro, I didn't even remember she existed until Rose showed her in a video. I literally did not remember her whatsoever. It's such a lame writing and cheap attention grab. I don't know how they did not fire their writers. And by the way, when I was referring earlier to quests that you should remove, this is definitely one of them. 100% this is one of them. Contributed nothing. Literally nothing. So yeah, it is what it is. And by the way, the reason World of Warcraft dragons are way better is because they're based on Lord of the Rings.
It's moments of sadness and loss like these that bring us together to fight under the same banner. Or at least that's what all the NPCs at this funeral that wasn't for foreskin told me I should be feeling at this point in time. But the problem that the game devs don't seem to realize is if the model on the character's legs are more well developed than the plot behind them, I just can't bring myself to care aside from maybe busting a few fat nuts out while the body's still warm.
What this all roughly translates to is the idea that we need to stop defending and take the fight to Zoltan before he snatches up another piece of premium ass. And luckily for us, Blue Widowmaker has a plan. It's just too bad her plan is the exact same plan we've been perfecting up until this point in the MSQ, chasing down MacGuffins. After spending enough time doing exactly that though, I do bump into some lore-relevant enemies worth murdering. They may have eluded me on first encounter, but what's important is that we finally found a way to start f***ing with Grandpa Zaitan's oxygen tank. And shockingly, it turns out that he has the exact same weakness as every other person in the retirement village. His soft, squishy eyes and his moist little mouth. As is convention in any form of self-defense, we first go after his eye by baiting it with that one mirror that was part of that one quest line that no one remembers or cares about. Unfortunately, our trap becomes his trap and he gets the mirror to teleport us to the worst place imaginable. This trap, however, is only a delay tactic, because if you were to try and fight a flamethrower with your eyeballs, guess who wins?
Now all we need to do is just extract some usable information from the... Oh.
It's a good thing that Gore Wars 2 is filled with all this magic and shit, or we'd really be in trouble right about now. As far as I understand it, in this magical world we can still extract information from the body by reviving it just a little, and through the magical art known as terrorist interrogation, where we hook a live car battery up to its nuts, we can get it to tell us exactly what we want to hear. After a few short rounds of not neglecting the ball, we find out exactly where Zaitan's mouth has been hiding, and it's being put to work how you'd expect. So we meet up with an even newer Norn Mommy 3.0 who seems to specialize in the proper application of skin-tight yoga pants, and get ready to attack.
Hey, do you know what I think would be a really great idea right about now? Is if we sent Cheeks and a teeny tiny squad into that mansion all alone instead of all just barging in there and making Ruby Ridge look like a fucking joke. What's that? Devs?
No, but for some reason, all available personnel are currently unavailable. Why? The end of the world is literally coming to them, and like they couldn't bother. They literally could not bother until the very end, where Zaitan knocked on their doors, and they're like, "Okay, you know what? Maybe now we should gather. Maybe now is the time."
Read my mind. I expected nothing less.
At this point, I could tell you how good this mansion invasion section is, how neat, clean, and tight it all feels, as we're pulled into the zone of polite insanity, where everyone is acting like the outside world doesn't exist, where everything we're seeing is in this suspended state of reality with a light illusion cast over it. And whenever we break that illusion, we discover that everyone is actually an undead monstrosity being puppeteered by a discount magician. But instead, I just can't help but notice that this segment of the game is yet another moment where we lose one of our most valuable in-game assets.
I have a question. For God.
Why? I watch this video literally every day.
But either way, with the death of Snoo Snoo Mountain 3.0, we trade evenly and take out the mouth of Zaitan. This is the turning point moment for my character, and the moment where the war against the undead really kicks off. We are no longer a joke to the flying disease crocodile, who'd been patiently waiting for me to finish all those side quests. Everyone and everything alive is now a threat, or at least that's what I would say if I wasn't immediately put right back on side quest duty. It's already beyond obvious to me that the main story quest line itself is entirely optional, and that a player could completely ignore it and have a great time hitting max level by just exploring and doing any one of the million random things out in the open world, because everything in the game gives you XP in one form or another. So
absolutely. That's why they completely need to rework it from the ground up. You need to make, first, you need to make leveling slower. Second, you need to weave in the quests into the zones. They need to make more sense, but that would require some serious effort, and they would never go back and revisit it. Like, never, literally. They will just take the lazy route.
Why would they even bother with this very strange limitation?
I can name everything memorable that's occurred in the main story questline on one hand so far. Death by Snoo Snoo, Forgul, Siege Battle. And that's not even neglecting the fact that the Siege Battle was so good that they snuck another 2 in along the way.
But none of that really matters right now, because these right here are the last moments of
this
base
part was
game
actually
career.
fine.
This is the final build up to the inevitably awesome first-hand battle with Zaitan. The side quests eventually end and point us in the direction of the battleground against the unstoppable flying god of undeath. The armies that have been assembled under our banner begin their gruesome march towards the heart of the dragon's forces. The land is treacherous, unstable, and near impassable, and the only way we're getting to that dragon is by air. So we battle our way to a clearing, towards the sky taxi that's going to take us to the ultimate climax of this experience. Our path is blocked by the incoming hordes of undead sent our way. This is a gasp of panic and fear given form by the dragon, who knows exactly how much danger he's in.
Here it comes.
This is the calm before the storm, a moment of redemption for some, of reflection for others.
So I think right about now is about the perfect time for me to tell you what I really think about the Guild Wars 2 base game experience. Before
it's garbage.
What's obviously going to be the world's best dragon battle just entirely corrupts my opinion and makes me want to say nothing but good things about the game. It kind of goes without saying that this Guild Wars 2 leveling experience has been a rather wild ride and a smattering of both good and enjoyable moments mixed in with quite a few bland ones. There's no numerical rating I can slap on this that's going to explain exactly what this has been to me, what it hasn't been, and what it should have been. The
5 out of 10. It's very, very average. Very, very average.
Guild Wars 2 base game MMORPG experience is not good.
Nope.
But it's not bad either. Much like most other games in this genre,
average.
The problem is that the leveling experience of Guild Wars 2 falls deep into the trap of just being an extended game tutorial. You work your way through it, and then actually get to play the game only once you've hit max level. And from what little I can tell from the expansions beyond this point that's just been unavoidable to me, I can see why so many people just keep saying the line to me, keep playing, it gets better,
it becomes
bro.
good.
Once you've hit max level, just get into the expansion, which I would...
And they're absolutely right. They're absolutely right. As someone who recently hit Heart of Thorns, finally I understood what you guys were waiting for. Finally, I got it. Why nobody wanted to watch me play Corteria, but everyone now comes to my stream whenever I stream Heart of Thorns. I get it. Like, I truly do. It just, core Tyria is trash. It's really bad. It is really, really bad. And I understand, because Heart of Thorns is incredible. It truly feels like it actually has some great foundations. Like, oh, I'm actually going to an expedition. It's insane. I'm going on an expedition to the jungle. And it feels like that. And you have all of the trees, and the verticality is incredible. Except for Tangled Depths, it's kind of trash there. But, you know, the other locations, they're awesome. The glider, all of that stuff. It feels a lot more refined. Core Tyria is like, you're kind of running around like a headless chicken doing whatever. And few and far in between, you actually have enjoyable activities. For the most part, you do enjoy the open world and the meta quest. The meta quests are fine. I did enjoy 100%ing Tyria. A lot more than Heart of Thorns, that is.
Usually just write off as a copium-filled cop-out of the chair dwellers who've tied their identity far too closely to a game they enjoy playing. But it does hold a kernel of truth.
She must have been playing Counter-Strike.
If someone were to ask me, what were MMORPGs like back in the early 2010s? With a little bit of hand-holding and a lot of variety, the only real answer I could give them is to go and play the base game of Guild Wars 2. This is just one of the most well-preserved pieces of MMORPG history that's still in a playable state even to this day. There's no need to go cobble and pirate together some private experience for a game that's dead, because this one just isn't. There's plenty to enjoy about this game, and plenty that could have been a lot better. And that's kind of the reason she's so memorable to me. She might be old and busted up. She might ramble on with a story that makes no sense, like an escaped mental patient in your local McDonald's. She might very well be stuck in a graphical state that can only be improved upon so much due to engine constraints and age. But it's all those flaws that end up making her such a beautiful game, even now in her declining years.
Some MMOs age like milk, others like a fine wine. This one aged like the grease you'll find at the bottom of a crack pipe. All it takes is if you can find that spark of wonder within yourself, and you might just end up still having a great time.
This is not the neat, clean, psychologically optimized game that's been built by a bunch of bumbling idiots in a backroom who can't help but think to themselves, now how do we go about fundamentally and soullessly changing everything we care about?
Nice AC meme. But yeah, I wouldn't say Core Tyria is trash. Map exploration is great, dynamic events are great, world bosses are great. Mostly just story is mid. So, you know, crafting, okay, sure, I didn't do any crafting, so I can't vouch for that. Exploration is amazing, and dynamic quests are incredible. World bosses, I guess it kind of depends, and the story is not mid, it's garbage. The story is really, really bad. If you think that story is mid, you're really gonna love World of Warcraft, but regardless, it's trash. The story is really, really bad. It doesn't make any sense. They need to completely rework it, and I'm not gonna say it again, okay? It just really bad. The fact that they're constantly glazing you. It's like, oh, Commander, I missed you, I need you, I want you in my life. And then when you ask them for help, they're like, nah, like, what are you, nuts? Think I'm gonna help you? Dog, I don't care. It doesn't compute inside of my head. Things don't make sense. Like, character actions and the word that they say, they don't align. So what are we doing here? It's the most inconsistent writing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's like you're jumping from one thing to another without it making any sense whatsoever. Quests are truly feeling very disconnected. They're very, very disconnected.
About so that we can hop on a trend and release a game that's going to die within the next 5 minutes.
But rather by a bunch of nerds with a game engine and a dream. And maybe they couldn't, at the time, figure out how to add in all the mechanics that they wanted to, the way they wanted to. Maybe they had no clue how to seamlessly integrate dialogue moments into the scenes of the world around them. And sometimes maybe they couldn't write a story good enough to save their own innocent mother from the electric chair, and left their wiki to make up the difference.
But I just can't help but end up...
They should have known that. I truly could not care less. If you were incompetent and you made a bad game, like, that's on you. I truly do not care.
Respecting what they've built here. The bones of this game are pretty solid, but they're also not bones that everyone is gonna enjoy. And there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, that's one of the reasons I think this game still has a player base and why people still enjoy playing it. Myself included.
I think that now Rose may have changed his opinion about that. I think that Guild Wars 2 should have been a lot bigger And one of the reasons, I think the major contributor to most new people leaving this game is the core experience. Especially now when the game is actually free. And this is the first thing that people are engaged with. They see that and they go like, damn, you know what? Like, why would I ever purchase an expansion if that's the core experience? Like, why would I ever do that? And they're right to think so. It's very difficult to actually convince someone like, oh, no, Heart of Thorns is on the horizon. Trust me, dude. I know everything until now was garbage. But for the love of God, you're so close to greatness. They're not going to buy that. Okay? They're not going to buy that bait. It's just not going to happen. Or either that, or they're just going to skip to Heart of Thorns, which I still wouldn't recommend. I really think you should experience the good stuff in the court area. But for the most part, people would just quit. Most people would just quit. Wait, what? What do you say? Let's see. Oh, I don't mind the automatic quest. Like, you don't need to go turn in quest. It's manageable. Yeah, absolutely. The meta quests are fun. I think the meta quests are the future of MMOs. I don't think that the old ways of going to an NPC, reading an entire scroll of text just to give him 10 bare asses is good for the future. I think this era is over, and Guild Wars 2 system will be implemented in some way, in some different form or another, in other MMOs. I think that is the future.
Might be a game that's trying to have everything in it, but it's also not one of those games that's built.
Yeah, make Heart of Thorns the base game. I'm not even joking. You could do that and it would make sense. Yeah, literally. Just make a few connection to like the core game so people would understand the characters better. It can work. It can work.
For everyone. Oh yeah, and one more thing. Since this is the end, I think now's about the right time for me to let you in on a little secret. If you've been paying attention this entire time through this video series, you may have noticed a little bit of a theme. Because you see, I've been lying to you.
Julie Nathanson, now being the new player that I am,
And I'd be lying to you again. Now is about the time for me to really apologize to you because I lied again.
I think I've been lied to.
I've been lying to you since the very beginning, and not a single one of you indicated to me that you'd seen through my ruse at all. You just sat there in your optimal C-shaped gamer pose, gobbling whatever up that I fed to you. I
He actually loved the Azura. I'm calling it.
said so many times that the base game story and lore that you're gonna come across is just not worth paying attention to. And to
He bought that wheelchair for this for this kid. No, I'm pretty sure he founded dumpster diving 100%. You can see it's health tattered.
make matters more confusing for you, I even lied in
And I
all
respect
the comments
that.
I put under the video about how much I knew about the game itself, just to keep that illusion going. See, the reality is that your personal character story might range from absolutely boring as all hell to fantastic, but the main world itself, the world building, is incredibly good, because I know exactly which toe on Queen Jenna's bare, unwashed feet that Logan got to suck on in exchange for letting his friend Snaff die at the hands of the Dragon Kralkatorrik.
Oh, that's fine. That part is okay.
The humans in Guild Wars 2 are really just illegal border-hopping immigrants who didn't even bring any decent recipes across the dimensions when they came to visit. And
I mean, listen, man, there were only a couple of centaurs there. Like, who cares? There were, like, the lands were there. Like, they were ready. I mean, I just, just displacing a few centaurs. Surely they did not take it to heart.
I know exactly why the nightmare exists.
But there's ultimately a reason why I lied to you the way I did. The leveling experience that you might get going from 1 to 80 is worth experiencing firsthand for yourself, even if just once. And undoubtedly, you'll likely have a different one than I did. Truthfully, you don't need some YouTuber or streamer telling you how you should or shouldn't be playing this game. You don't need some ultra-optimized best start guide to get going. You don't even need the Guild Wars 2 wiki. But what you might just need is a push in the right direction. A gentle nudge to let you know that this game still exists. And hey, base game's free, so you might as well try it out. And if it turns out that this game is just not for you, then there's nothing wrong with that either. But at least you can say that you gave it a first-hand try in order to figure that out.
All jokes aside, I hope that I've at least managed to convey that message to you, that this game is at least worth trying out for yourself. Because one day, this game might just be gone forever.
But I think, at least for now, that's enough of me trying to emotionally manipulate you into playing this game. It's time to go fight a dragon.
Yeah, it's crazy how much he had to say about, like, negatively about Guild Wars 2, and yet he still recommended it. Like, this man truly loved the game. He loved the game, and I bet the videos he would have gotten off the expansions would have been so good. It makes me so sad to see that, like, this is the end, right? But it's just, oh man, it's so disheartening watching this video, but I'm enjoying it nonetheless. What? Remember Apple, Azura run and fix your Guild Wars 2 tech? You need them? I don't care about that. I'll learn how to fix them myself. Just yeet them into the river. I don't want to see them ever again. They're annoying. Save for Timey. Timey is dope. It's okay. We're gonna give her a pass. Yeah, I know we play the expansions, but I mean, I really wanted to see his videos, right? I don't want to see a bald man playing an MMO. I'm doing fine myself. I wanted to see the stuff, the hot memes of the other expansions. It actually what drove me into playing Guild Wars 2. I watched Rose's videos and I wanted to know more about them so I can watch them. Right? I mean, oh Jesus, that's hella loud. What the hell? Bro, he went a little bit too crazy with the audio here. Surely a rookie mistake. Press F to win. Here it comes. Yeah, just take him down. Just take him down. That is all. This is it. And the clowns defending this fight would actually tell you, oh, it used to be a 5-man dungeon back in the day. You didn't press F, you had 4 more people pressing F alongside you. It was so good. Like, dog, no. Just no. Okay? Like, literally don't. And don't even get me started with, oh, it was supposed to, like, have a second half. So make the second half. Like, what are we talking about? Right now, it's absolutely abhorrent. I love this part, of course. No one defend this fight. You would actually be surprised how many people defended it. They didn't defend the fight, they defend ArenaNet for, like, doing it this way. Like, oh, they done it poorly because this and that. Like, I don't care. Go back and fix it. This is such a clever edit.
Wow. What an unfathomably irredeemable, gigantic pile of shit.
Yes. Yes. What? I literally cut out over 2 whole hours of me ranting about how miserably bad this fight was just so I could make this cut here and not lose whatever remains of my sanity to the pure garbage that is this encounter was for a final boss encounter. Yes. Yes. I myself can't even talk about Zaitan fight without going into a tirade. It was absolutely... This is the real reason Rose got banned. I mean, everyone absolutely hated this fight. It's not him, but we're the only brave one to speak against it. The most you'd get from any other creator is like, yeah, it wasn't good enough, that's it, right? Nobody would call it a steaming pile of ass garbage, okay? Nobody.
As always, big thank to my subscribers, both old and new. And
Man,
a special thank to the Bad Dragon Deletions.
I know you always hated when I skipped like the big thank videos. It's the most viewed one too, like almost. It's insane. It's the most viewed part. But yeah, let's see if you say something else here.
Who stuck with me this long in hopes of me ever getting this video out before
the big
final
thank
launch
segment
of
is so good. Never take it off, Rose. Like literally
One
never.
day, I'll fix up the Patreon just for you guys. Anyway, more content soon. Bye.
Mother, you piece of...
Just for you guys. Anyway, more content soon.
Can you believe that? Can you believe that? More content soon, huh? Interesting. How well this aged. Of course. When my father comes home with the milk and cigarettes. Of course. It is what it is. But wait, I was excited for this fight in the story. Now it's spoiled. Congratulations. Your sanity has been saved. You can thank me later. I mean, yeah, it's absolutely crazy. It's absolutely crazy. ArenaNet truly does not give a shit about marketing. Imagine losing Rose as a content creator because of a joke. I know. They're just really bad at marketing. It's not that they don't care. They're just really bad at it. They're actively making their marketing worse. I mean, Guild Wars 2 should have been way bigger than what it is right now. And I already spoken about this in like a previous video. I went on a rant. I don't think there's a reason for me to do this right now. This is not the place. But I will say, Guild Wars 2 should be much larger. It should be on par with World of Warcraft, if not better. And I mean retail. And it definitely can be. I hate the fact that people are telling me like, oh, Guild Wars 2 is not for everyone. No. It's our game. Like, why are you secluding yourself? Why are you intentionally putting yourself inside of a bubble? I don't get that. You should definitely stretch your arms more and reach other people. This game can grab the attention of many. And it has. Like, it has in the past. I mean, Guild Wars 2 used to be insanely popular on launch. It was crazy. Everyone played it, everyone tried it out, and it kind of just fell after that and really never recovered. For some reason, right? I guess due to the base game being so garbage, definitely should be a contributor. But it should do more. It should be more. I hate the fact that people are constantly telling me, this game is not for everyone. Of course, no game is for everyone, but many people should enjoy this game like I do. It's so stupid. I hate that point of argument. It is what it is. Well, let's see. Anything? Self-sabotage. Exactly. Right? Exactly. We're bubbling because we're used to mediocrity. Damn. That's a damn shame. I mean, you need to ask for better. Maybe Guild Wars 3, right? Maybe Guild Wars 3. It's as stupid as banning someone like Barney or Uber Danger or Rav from World of Warcraft for a joke. I watch Rav videos all the time, and he's literally the only one keeping me sane watching WoW videos. Literally. Now, unfortunately, I can't react to them on stream because he uses like infinite copyrighted music and YouTube just strike down my videos. But, I mean, I love Rav videos. Rav is literally the GOAT of World of Warcraft. So yeah, you need more people like Rav, you need more people like Rose in Guild Wars 2, right? You need more content creator with their audacity, with their goal. And by the way, I gotta admit, this video was way more muzzled compared to the other. The others were way funnier than this. Maybe because I hate the Zaitan fight so much, but the other videos from Rose were like way better than this. This was a very good video nonetheless, but you can tell he played it safe here. He played it safe here, you can tell. Like there was few Azura baby dunking video, like jokes, like, you know, this is what I came here for, and I didn't quite get it. I did get a few, like the Orphan Flamethrower one. It was hilarious, bro. Like it's a joke. It was funny, and now we're never gonna see that again. Like we're never gonna see that again. Clearly, he tuned it down a bit, which I do understand. But for the love of God, unban Rose, please. I need to see more. There are so many good parts in Heart of Thorns that he can meme about, and like it's just wasted potential. Like this man probably gotten more people into Guild Wars 2 than you can actually imagine, and I really wish that would continue. But unfortunately, we're not going to have that anytime soon, if you know ever. But I guess we can just make do with what we have, right? He's gonna keep making more content, and we're gonna keep watching that. So yeah, by the way, guys, before like we close this segment, make sure to give this man a like and a sub. He's truly a phenomenal content creator. Surely he will get up to schedule soon. Surely his roof won't collapse at him once again, and he'll actually make great content. I'm gonna leave a link in the description. You guys should definitely go check him out.